Imagine just for a moment that you have gently slipped through time. 40,000 years ago. The sun has just disappeared behind the distant hills, painting the sky in rich, glowing shades of deep purple, crimson, and warm gold. You're sitting at the entrance of a natural shelter, somewhere in the wild landscapes that will one day be known as Europe. The air is turning crisp and cold, that pure, sharp chill that only exists when there are no cities, no lights, and no walls between you and the ancient night. All that stands between you and the vast darkness is the flickering warmth of a fire and the solid presence of stone. In front of you, flames dance cheerfully inside a carefully arranged circle of stones. This is no ordinary fire. It carries the living knowledge of countless generations, passed down with care from parent to child, from elder to young hunter. Around the fire, roughly 15 people have gathered. A young mother sits quietly, feeding her newborn baby. Two men work with focused calm, shaping sharp stone points onto spear shafts. Nearby, an elder woman weaves strong plant fibers into rope and baskets, her hands moving with the wisdom of decades. In the background, children laugh softly as they play with smooth river pebbles, their joyful voices echoing gently off the rock walls. For everyone here, this small circle of firelight is everything. It is home, it is family, and it is life itself. This is not a fantasy or a Hollywood scene. This was real. These were real people, breathing the same air, feeling the same cold, looking up at the same stars that still shine above us today. And tonight we're going to step into their world, not as outsiders, but as quiet observers of their everyday lives. We'll leave behind all the old stereotypes and discover who they truly were. Take a deep breath, relax, and let me take you there. The big question. But tonight, as we sit by this ancient fire, one important question arises. What was life really like for these people? Let's leave behind all the old stereotypes. Forget the clumsy, grunting cavemen with wooden clubs you've seen in cartoons and old movies. Those images are not just inaccurate, they're unfair. These were real human beings. They looked up at the same night sky we see today. They fell in love, felt fear, laughed with their children, and dreamed of better days, just as we do. They created beautiful art so powerful that even after tens of thousands of years, it still moves us deeply when we discover it on cave walls. For a long time, we called them cavemen and smiled at what we thought was their primitive way of life. But that picture is completely wrong. Modern archaeology tells a much richer and more impressive story. Instead of simple-minded brutes struggling to survive, scientists have found evidence of complex social groups, remarkable creativity, and intelligence equal to our own. These ancestors were not less smart than us. They lived in a world full of dangers we can hardly imagine. And yet they didn't just survive, they thrived. They built strong communities that lasted for thousands of years, developed clever tools and techniques, and passed down knowledge with incredible care. So tonight, let's set aside the old myths and meet them as they truly were, our remarkable ancestors full of wisdom, skill, and humanity. Meet Alara and her people. Let us now meet the people whose story we will follow. At the heart of our journey is Alara, a skilled gatherer in her late 20s, intelligent, patient, and deeply connected to the land. Beside her is Coyle, her partner, a thoughtful and respected hunter. Together they care for their young son and live among a close-knit band of about 25 people. They are not isolated. Their group is part of a wider network of families and clans who move across the vast landscapes of Ice Age Europe. Right from the beginning, it's important to let go of the old caveman image. Most of our ancestors did not live their entire lives in dark caves. There simply weren't enough good caves for everyone. Instead, they were smart and adaptable. They built comfortable temporary shelters using strong branches, animal hides, and sometimes the massive bones of mammoths. These homes could be taken down and moved when needed. Caves were used, yes, but mostly as temporary refuges during bad storms or freezing winters. Their real life happened in well chosen camps near rivers, lakes, and rich hunting grounds. They followed the seasonal movements of animals and the ripening of wild plants. These people belonged to a remarkable time when different kinds of humans shared the earth. Our direct ancestors, the Homo sapiens, along with Neanderthals and Denisovans. Sometimes their paths crossed, they traded, and occasionally even formed families together. This is the world of Ilara and her people, a world of movement, deep knowledge of nature, strong community bonds, and constant adaptation. Now let's walk with them through an ordinary day in their lives. Daily life, dawn to dusk. At first light, the group stirs naturally. No clocks, just the sun, birdsong, and hunger. Someone has kept the embers alive overnight. Fire was sacred, the heart of camp. Alara wakes and checks on her son, then joins other women and children heading out to gather. They possess encyclopedic knowledge of hundreds of plants, knowing exactly what's safe, nutritious, and ripe. In just a few hours, they can bring back a diverse bounty: roots, berries, nuts, greens, eggs, and small game. Meanwhile, Kyle and other hunters prepared tools and plan. Hunting was usually a team effort. Ambushes, drives using natural terrain or careful tracking. They used finely crafted spears, atlatls, spear throwers, for greater power and distance, and sometimes built traps. Success provided meat, but gathering supplied the steady calories. Their camps were thoughtfully chosen, elevated spots with good views for spotting danger or game, near water and raw materials. In colder regions, they built sturdy huts from mammoth bones, sophisticated structures with foundations, walls, roofs weighted against wind, central hearths, and insulated sleeping platforms. In warmer areas, lighter pole and hide structure worked like portable yurts. Comfort mattered. Layered bedding of grass and furs, insect-repelling plants, and organized living spaces. Fire was managed expertly, hot and quick for cooking, smoky for preserving food or repelling bugs, coals banked for the next morning. Tools, skills, and creativity. Alara's people were master craftsmen. They turned ordinary stones into precise blades using advanced techniques. They worked bone, antler, and ivory into needles, revolutionizing clothing and cold weather survival, harpoons, and beautiful objects. Tools were composite masterpieces, stone points glued with plant resins and ochre to wooden shafts. Knowledge spread through teaching, storytelling, and practice, creating cumulative cultural progress. Art and symbolism flourished. Deep in certain caves, artists created breathtaking paintings of animals using natural pigments. Hand stencils, abstract signs, and carvings suggest rituals, storytelling, and spiritual expression. Music emerged too. Bone flutes and percussion brought melody and rhythm to gatherings. Jewelry from shells, teeth, and beads signaled identity and connections. Social life and community social life was rich. Bands of 25 to 50 people formed tight-knit units, linked by larger kinship networks spanning hundreds of kilometers. Trade moved materials over long distances. They cared for the vulnerable. Evidence shows injured or disabled individuals lived long lives thanks to community support. Elders were treasured for their wisdom and stories. Child rearing was shared, strengthening bonds and improving survival. An evening around the fire. As shadows lengthen, everyone returns to camp. Food is prepared with skill, roasted, boiled with hot stones, or preserved by smoking and drying. Around the fire, stories flow hunts, ancestral deeds, lessons about the land, and myths explaining the world. Laughter mixes with quiet reflection. Children drift off safely surrounded by the group. Someone banks the fire for the night, while others gaze at the brilliant, unpolluted stars, reading the sky for navigation and wonder. Life wasn't endless drudgery. In good times, people had significant leisure for relationships, play, art, and innovation. The real legacy Alara and her people weren't primitive. They were resourceful nomads, brilliant engineers, caring parents, artists, and storytellers. Genetically and emotionally, they were us. Same brain capacity, same capacity for joy, grief, love, and curiosity. They endured ice ages, megafauna, and climate swings through cooperation, ingenuity, and cultural transmission. We carry their resilience, creativity, and social intelligence in our DNA. When you solve a tough problem, comfort a friend, or feel moved by beauty, you're echoing their spirit. New discoveries constantly deepen our respect. Closing reflection. So, as you drift towards sleep, remember, inside you lives the strength of countless generations who refuse to give up. Their story is our story. They looked at the same stars, felt the same winds, and dreamed of better days. Rest well, descendant of remarkable survivors. May their wisdom bring you peace and their creative fire inspire your dreams. Good night.